Huh? Huh? Guess who it is? You can't possibly guess who it is. Okay, you might have a guess on who it is. Hi! Look, it's me! Ah, you couldn't have possibly. Guessing who it is, no, nobody ever could, you know. Hi, how are you? I hope you're having a good day. I'm having an awesome, wonderful, amazing day. Um, and by day I mean I woke up a couple minutes ago, and I'm struggling for dear life. Um, Nothing quite like today, am I right, ladies? Hmm. I really am struggling. I'm struggling real hard right now. I haven't slept. I got a bit of a headache, but it's fine. It's completely worth it. I stayed up to edit a few videos. And I know I shouldn't have, but I did it anyway. Um Worth it. Worth it in my opinion. Hmm. Ah, sorry. I needed water. I finally have water in the house. That's absolutely wonderful. I don't know what is going on recently. I'm not a political person, but I'm still equally as confused as the next person. I am. How do I word this? I'm just as confused as the next bunny. Alright. How on earth? Rather, what on earth? Okay. How are the things that are happening happening? That's my question. Cause didn't like the government have like a mini shutdown a few days ago, and now today's like Friday the 13th Ooga Booga Day of Rage. Man, every day I wake up to something different. Man, I just I want to wake up to like I don't know, cotton candy clouds. Can we wake up to cotton candy clouds? That would be awesome. Nothing too necessarily bad from like what I've seen has been happening. Granted, I do not keep up with the news. I probably should, just for like my own general safety. Am I gonna do it? No. But the thought is there, you know? It's in the back of my head, just a teeny tiny bit. Um, it's not strongly there. I don't know. Here's the thing with me. I grew up with my mother constantly watching TV, right? Cause I'm okay, yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I grew up with only the stuff available from the previous generation. Mm. Which tends to happen when your parents aren't from, if you live in the United States, it tends to happen when your parents aren't from the United States. If they just got there, or if they've been there for a few years, and then you were born there, or even if, like, your family just moves over here, a lot of the time what ends up happening is that you get you grow up with what the previous generation had, right? So, for me, I grew up with VHS tapes and stuff, and CDs, even though, like, the internet very much so was, like, already starting to be a bigger thing when I was, a kid. So, because I grew up in that previous generation, I guess, mindset or area, per se, the area that was my house, because I grew up there, and because of the way that I was really close with my mother when I was growing up. My mom does what every single Spanish mom does. She is a woman who will live, breathe, and no longer live by her soap operas. This woman will be like, ooh, 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 Turkish soap operas? Yes, right. So, I grew up mostly with Univision and telenovelas. Uh, Now, I mean everything that was on Univision, okay, because my mom was a stay-at-home mom, right? A lot of Spanish families are very traditional when it comes to, like, the masculine and feminine roles. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Now, this led to me seeing many interesting shows that are very much so part of the Spanish culture, like Caso Cerrado, which is essentially the Spanish Judge Judy, right? Catchy ass bop for a theme song. Like, we in there, bro. We are in there to live life happily, right? The thing is, with a lot of these shows, a lot of them are very dramatic, which I think is kind of maybe sort of partially, maybe not the full reason, but maybe it's like, you know, like, yeah, maybe it's a little bit of the reason why Spanish people are the way they are. And I say that with love in my heart. I mean, I love my culture. I love everything about it. Some of the bad things as well, cuz you know, sometimes cultures are themselves, right? I'm not gonna love every single part of my culture except this one thing, right? Well, I mean, there are some parts of my Spanish culture that I do not enjoy. But because the internet likes to take things the wrong way, I will not be saying them. Case in point, what I was trying to say. I grew up with a bunch of Spanish shows. A bunch of Spanish shows. And my mother loved her soap operas. And my mother would also go, and she wouldn't just be watching the show. She would be cooking or cleaning or etc., right? While she's watching the show. Now, her leaving the TV on has traumatized me many, many times, right? But, in her defense, she was busy, I was a kid, you know, I was, like, all over the place. But for the most part, I would stick with her. Like, I would be on her hip, like, most of the time. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility that I would see something I'm not supposed to see. But that sound that they have, what is it, FEMA? I think it's called? Man, I'm not informed. Like, I can't. I can't even bullshit this. I'm not informed at all, okay? I don't know what shit's called. I don't know things by name. I don't think I ever will. But that sound, that like beep 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 beep, that sound, that horrible sound, like for the like national like warning stuff, right? I think it is FEMA. That sound traumatized me as a young child. I'm not specifically sure if this was like an actual thing, or if it was or if it was just like something that happened in Florida, or if it was just something that was like how it was like a couple days ago, with the just like to check if it was working, right? I don't remember like what specifically it was. I just remember that sound terrifying the ever-loving daylights out of me, right? So I kind of got a little traumatized with TV and with that sound. Not only because of that sound was a large part of it. I completely stopped, like, well, I did not want to be close to any technology after that. But the fun part about that, the entertaining part about that, I'd say, is that this kind of gave me my little gripe. I have a tiny little gripe with with the news. You know, just I mean, you could apply this, I guess, to social media as well, but the news. Oh, those wonderful people at those news stations be scaring the crap out of me whenever I see the news. It is not a fun time for me at all. Regardless of that, you know, it kind of sucks, but also at the same time, you gotta be informed, right? But also you have to keep in mind that these people also want ratings, because everything nowadays is money, and they do a little ting-ting-ting called fear-mongering, right? To the point where I find it a little bit hard, just a tiny little amount, to actually, like, trust and acknowledge that some things are actual dangers, and that other things are just fear-mongering for the sake of, well, for the sake of ratings, or what have you, right? Ah! I choked on my chicken nugget. Ugh. I'm okay. The thing is, with that, just, I don't know. It's hard to watch the news and be, be happy, right? Because you're seeing all this bad stuff happening all over the place, and you're like, oh, that sucks, or oh, that's scary, or oh, I actually really don't want that to happen. Or just stuff that's, like, happening, like, actively, and you're like, oh, that's not exactly a fun time, is it? It's that kind of small stuff that just makes you, it stays in the back of your head, I feel like. Even if you're not really focused on it, I feel like that's something that really does stay in the back of your head, because you're like, oh, that's not good, that's something that's happening, which means if it's happening somewhere else, like, statistically, it could happen to me, right? So, I mean, I understand that that's exactly how fear-mongering works. And I mean, in that case, these people are doing their job wonderfully. Like, they couldn't possibly be doing it any better. It's just, sometimes, I would just rather they not, you know? Like, even, like, people, these little, like, news people as well on, and even the big news stations that are on TikTok as well. Most, like, the news peeps, the news peeps, right? They also use that tactic, because then the video gets shared, and then more people watch it, and, you know, one thing leads to another. A case in point, money, right? Understandable, right? And I'm not against it, because, yeah, money, but also, that also keeps people informed. But also, the fact that everybody needs money is like, oh, what if this is not as big of a deal as they're making it out to be? And then someone who thinks, oh, this is probably just another thing that's, like, being overly exaggerated by social media, leaves the house unprepared one day and something bad happens, you know? Knock on wood, hopefully not. Hopefully not. I hope everyone is completely fine and safe today. Even though, ooga booga, Friday the 13th. Man, honestly, I feel like what we should be doing today isn't violence. What we should be doing today is just, you know, sitting there, watching Jason on the big screen, you know. Or maybe, just maybe, you know, just a stay-at-home movie marathon, like, for just Halloween movies in general. I know things are bad, but, you know, maybe if we kind of bind together and just mind our own business, and we're happy, and we do what we want to do, and we don't hurt other people, you know. If we are happy individuals, then I feel like it won't be as bad. Essentially why I'm here. Hi, I'm Bun Bun. I want to make your day better. I want to make your day better so you can make someone else's day better. And so they can make someone else's day better. And so that person can make the other person's day better. And so on and so forth. Okay. I believe in the butterfly effect of, if you're happy and you don't fuck with somebody, you could easily make their day just by not interacting with them. But, also, not gonna lie, I'm a huge advocate for walking up to random strangers and just, like, complimenting them. I've done that 1,000 times. I try not to interrupt people when they're doing something, you know? Like, I will wait for, like, a space. I don't want to just walk and be like, ah! You know? So, I don't want to intrude, right? But I've noticed, just a little bit, that after I compliment somebody, it's not a temporary smile. Like, the smile stays there, right? So I feel like it's worth it even if I get embarrassed. Because even if I get a little embarrassed or I feel a little weird about it, it's just, it's fine. It's fine because they're happy and then we're all good. Because the more people that are happy, the less people that are sad, right? Stay with me. The more people that are happy, the less people that are sad, the less bad things happen. I'm here to be happy. I'm here to make others happy. So, and this is frustrating me so much, I really want to work on this. Because I'm not even gonna lie. Money is important in the world that we live in. I understand that. But I still feel bad accepting money. And I still feel bad when people give me money. So yeah, just accepting. But I've always had trouble accepting gifts, so I can't really say much there. However, one other tiny little thing of mine. I don't really care about whether or not I make money. I mean, I'm sticking to this real hard. And I have made some money from one very kind, generous person, Loose Binds, which they're going to debut in November, I think, if I remember correctly, and I'm actually really excited to see how that goes. And if they stream on a day that I stream, I might not stream, just to support them. Or I might stream and then, like, send a raid over to him. Shh, don't tell, it's a surprise. If he watches this, then it's not really a surprise anymore. Well, I think I already told him anyway. Regardless, I want to make people happy, alright? The larger I can grow, as a VTuber, right? As a bun, the larger I can grow, just on any platform, the more people I can reach, and the more people I can make smile. That is the goal. Oh, dear. I dropped my nugget. It's fun. No use crying over spilled nugget skin? Goodness. But man, there's nothing more valuable to me than someone else's smile. Granted, yes, my own happiness, of course. That's important. I am already happy by myself, right? I'm happy with the person that I am, and I'm happy with, I guess, the situation that I'm in, and I'm happy with streaming. But I'd be happier. That's the thing, man. Like, if you, okay. There's one thing, and it keeps irking me in the back of my head, because sometimes I feel slightly hypocritical because I was offering someone advice. I'm not going to name a name. I was offering someone advice, and they weren't happy. And I was like, you need to find something that makes you happy, that doesn't involve other people, right? Because this person is very much so relying on, like, their happiness is relying a lot on whether or not they talk to other people or they cater to other people. And I think it's completely fine to be happy helping and making others feel better, right? I'm completely fine with that. But then there's also the tiny fact that you shouldn't be relying your happiness, right? You shouldn't be relying on someone else. Your happiness should be relying on you. Because what's gonna happen, hypothetically, of course hypothetically, because this is like a very extreme example, but what's gonna happen if everyone disappears tomorrow and it's just you? Of course, any normal person would be sad. All the people they care about just went poof, right? But if you had an infinite amount of time to come to terms with that, right? Then would you be happy by yourself? That's the question. Because if you're happy by yourself, then you're doing great. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a loner. I'm just saying you have to be nice and cozy and happy and loving to yourself, the same way you would be to other people, right? Because me, I love making other people happy. I'm not a people pleaser, but I love making other people happy, right? I like making other people smile. I like doing things for other people. As much as I can. So, that's the difference. Because if you can't be happy while you're by yourself, with your own company, which theoretically should be the best company, because who understands you better than yourself, right? If you can't be happy with yourself, and your happiness relies on others, that's not too healthy, right? At least, I don't think so. Granted, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm talking out of the experience that I've had, because, goodness gracious, am I friends with a lot of people pleasers. And it's always really funny because they, a lot of the time, they, try to offer me stuff, tasks and such, for me to, want to be around them. And I'm like, I'm your friend because I like you as a person. Why is it I can like you as a person, but you can't like yourself as a person? You're awesome, right? So I'm sitting there, mentally, but I can't say anything. Because every time I say anything at all, it's always the same answer from, certain people. And I'm like, oh, well, eventually, I love and respect them. If they love and respect me, they'll listen to my opinion, and maybe if they care to consider my opinion, they'll realize that they're awesome people, right? I feel like eventually we'll get there, Eventually. It might take a minute, but it's fine. Slowly but surely. Granted, like I said, once again, I'll repeat myself again. Being happy to help other people, I don't think that's a bad thing. Just don't let other people step on you. Or just take advantage of you. Because then that's not healthy. And that's not good for you, and it's not good for the other person. Even if they get something out of it, it's just not... It's not a good mentality to have in the long run, I don't think. But... Man! Do you, baby boo. Be happy. Be happy. Be a good, happy person. That's the only advice I can give. Be a good, happy person. If you are not happy, then this is way easier said than done, but if you're not happy, try your hardest to find a way to be happy. And if you need to ask for help, don't be afraid to ask for help, because not being happy isn't okay. And sometimes, you just need help with... It might seem small and simple and dumb to you, but your happiness is one of the most important things in life. If you're not happy, then you need to find a way to be happy. Because then when you're happy, everything's going to be so much better, and everything's going to be so much easier to deal with, and to live with, and to just exist with. Happiness is just one of those things, man. when you have it, it makes everything so much better, right? And the best part about happiness, it spreads, right? It spreads. Maybe not like instantaneously, even though I'd really like it to be instantaneous. But, you know, a little effort goes a long way. And if you see someone who's sad and you think you can make their day better without it, you know, harming your own day, of course, try. Because, you know, even if it's just a small compliment, or, you know, just something tiny, something itty-bitty, right? Even if it's something, like, really, really small. Sometimes, like, a small compliment, like I said, sometimes a small compliment can make someone's entire week, right? And I know this out of personal experience because I have been down for a while. And I've known a lot of people who have been very, very far down to very extreme points of not so happy, right? And I've never gotten that far down. I never let myself get that far down. But I know a lot of people are already that far down. And I know it's not something that can be fixed overnight. And I know some people are going through a lot of tough problems. But if you put on a brave face and you get through it, it really is. I know this is like an overused phrase. And a lot of people don't really believe it anymore because the world is kind of crappy sometimes. Things really do get better. Slowly. Because the same way that this bad situation has lasted forever in your eyes, right? The same way this bad situation has lasted forever, the same way it can end. It can end just as quickly, or in some cases, just as slowly as it began, right? But eventually, everything comes to an end. And people are fine with accepting the fact that everything eventually comes to an end, but they don't seem to apply it to the negative stuff. It applies to the negative stuff too. The bad stuff comes to an end just as much as the good stuff. You're just stuck in the moment because, you know, it's happening right now, and right now is incredibly important, right? But, honestly, if you have nothing good in the moment, if you have nothing good at all, then simply try to look forward to tomorrow. Because tomorrow, it might be the same. Heck, it might be worse, right? But you don't know what's gonna happen the day after that, right? And then the fun part is when it really is better the next day. Because sometimes you're just in a bad headspace, or sometimes it was just a one-off thing. Or sometimes, you know, it was just a snowball effect that caught you at a really bad moment. Because that's happened to me, and that sucks. Because I'm over here having just a bad day, and then when you're in a bad mood, everything just starts spiraling downwards. At least that's how it is for me. Because I'm in a bad mood for like 2 seconds, right? 2 seconds. And then the rest of my day just goes, right? But if you just take a deep breath, just, and then right? If you just relax, and you try to, I guess, look at it from a third-person point of view, right? Or if you can just find a way. Find a way. Because it might not be the best way. It might not be the most efficient way. It might not be the most fun way. But a method is a method, and if it gets you to tomorrow without hurting you, then I think it's good. Because it's much better to have the option to go back and fix something that is, you know, wrong, like something that traumatized you, right? Than to no longer have the option at all. I feel like it's a lot better. So just try. My advice is try to smile, try to be happy. Everything sucks, yes. Everything could be sucking horribly. It could be the worst days of your life. You could be going through some nonsense. You could be going through some garbage. You could be going through some bullshit, okay? Try to be happy. Because that's the most important part of life.
try to be happy, because if you're not happy today, you might be happy tomorrow. And if you're not happy tomorrow, you might be happy the next day. Or the day after. Or the day after that. But please keep trying. Don't ever stop trying. Because there are dozens of people on this earth. Maybe not even on this earth. There might be dozens of people in other places that you don't even know, that we don't even understand, right? Because science is discovering a bunch of new things all the time. Or maybe if you're religious, right? Maybe the people might not be there with you, but maybe you can continue, you know? Just smile. Be happy. If you can't be happy today, then at least try. If you really, really can't be happy today, at all, then go to sleep whenever you can. Or rest. If you can't sleep, take a nap, or if you can't nap, try to take a mental break, right? And then just try to step back from it a little bit. Look at the situation. Remind yourself that if something bad is happening, it can end just as quickly as it started, right? And then we're good. Then we're good. Because if you're not smiling today, you might be smiling tomorrow. And if you're not smiling tomorrow, you could be smiling the day after. You never know when the problem is going to end. And that's both a bad thing, but it's also a good thing. Because there's no guarantee it'll end tomorrow. But there's also no guarantee that it won't end tomorrow. That huge problem that you had, or that big stress that you had in your life, it could be solved tomorrow. And you wouldn't even notice, right? It's not something that would go through your head. I was choking my own saliva. But, like I was saying, it's not something that goes through your head at the moment, right? It's not something that you're like, oh, the problem's definitely going to be over tomorrow, right? But life does that. The same way you got into a horrible, crappy situation, the same way you can suddenly get out, right? Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. If you are in a bad situation, if you're in a very bad situation, it really depends on the situation, but in the best way I can say this where it applies, if you see an opportunity where you know, most likely you won't get any bad repercussions from it, but it could get you out of the situation, try. Because opportunities are there for a reason. But also, you know, be smart about it. I don't want anybody to go out and get themselves in trouble trying to fix a problem that's already bad and making it worse. But in order to, I've noticed this, I've noticed this in life. In order to be in an opportunity and actually properly, you know, get to it, right? The best way, from what I've seen, is to jump at an opportunity when you see it, but first jump at it mentally. Like, acknowledge the idea. And honestly, life comes and goes super quickly, right? Things can happen. Like, you could get in really bad trouble one day, or you could get hurt, you know, knock on wood. You could break a leg, knock on wood. All these things can happen in your life, right? But if you focus on that, you're never gonna be happy. Granted, take precautions, because if you can't avoid something, then you should avoid something, you know? But that doesn't mean live in fear. And that's the beauty of life. Nuances. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know if the world is gonna end tomorrow. You never know if, I don't know, the world's largest problem is gonna be solved tomorrow, right? You have no idea what's gonna happen. So, you know, you might as well try to live to see it, right? Try to live to see it. Because everything could suck now. Could suck butt right? Could absolutely suck butt. It could be horrible. It could be the most disgusting thing ever, right? It could be the worst, most rancid thing ever. Horrible, right? But you've seen these stories on the news that just seem almost impossible, of people going through these horrible situations and surviving, right? If they can do it, then so can you. I believe in you. I believe in all of you. I believe that everyone deserves to be happy. And if you're not in a situation where life is giving you happiness, then dang nabbit, take the happiness. Take it by force. Try, because if you don't try, then if you did go through something bad, if you don't try, then all the pain and suffering was for nothing, right? So, you might as well. And trying doesn't mean smile when everything is garbage. Trying just means, trying to see it differently. Or just trying to it could be so small. It really can be. Because sometimes just making it to the next day is an achievement in and of itself, right? You gotta find a way. That's what humans are known for. We're resilient as fuck. We're resilient, man. Find a way, because there is a way. There's always a way. There might not be a way out of the situation, but there's always a way to tomorrow, right? At least we can hope. It's not always a guarantee, because we never know what's going to happen tomorrow. But that's the beauty of life. Because like I said, things are very fleeting. But people forget to apply that to the bad stuff too. The same way something horrible can happen to you is the same way that something wonderful can happen to you. In that same split second right after the other thing happened to you. Life is weird, man. So I want you to keep this one tiny little thing in mind, because that is honestly the important thing to me. The important thing to me is as follows. Try your hardest to be happy. If you aren't happy doing maybe your job, right? Leaving your job, you don't have to stay at the job that you're in. But also, you don't want to put yourself under unnecessary stress, by suddenly leaving your job or something, see? So, I'd say you got a big old brain. You got a big old brain. I know you can use it. You got a big old wrinkly brain, right? Put that big old wrinkly brain to use, because maybe you're, struggling to actually be happy. I'm gonna use the basic example, because a lot of people are stuck in jobs that they don't like, right? I want you to see if you can do what you like as a hobby first, right? And then here's the thing. Here's the magical thing about the world. A lot of people have a lot of hobbies. A lot of people enjoy seeing the product instead of doing the process, right? My point is, there's people out there that you know what's a profession? Do you know what's a profession? Professional cuddling. I wish I was joking, okay? Not that that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Some people, if they're lonely and they need a hug, shoot, I'll give them hugs, right? But my point is, literally everything in this world can make you money, right? So, my thing is, there's always a solution. There is. Because even if it might take you a little longer to see it, or even if you can't see it right now, or maybe the option just isn't available yet, there's always an option, and there's always a way to get through it. And if you can't get through the problem now, you can definitely make it at least to tomorrow. Because maybe tomorrow the solution will be there, and you'll see it. Or maybe it'll be available. Or maybe someone will help you. Or maybe you'll meet somebody, and they'll offer you, I don't know, some sort of opportunity, right? You never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. The world is full of surprises. And that's, like I said, that's the beauty of life. Now, this is just a short little happiness stream. A short little tidbits with Bun Bun. Because, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people who are easily swayed by a lot of stuff. And I can't say that I'm outside of that. You know, sometimes, I don't get scared by like horror movies, but when I see something scary happening in the world, I live in the world too. It scares me too, naturally, right? And I wanted to come on here, and my main point was to say, we're all in this together. You might feel separated and alone, and maybe you don't particularly live with anybody, or maybe you don't have any friends, or maybe your friends left you, or you're just in a bad situation, you haven't made friends, or I don't know, whatever it is. Or maybe you have a bunch of friends. I don't know. I'm trying to talk to everybody. We're all in this together. We are. So I want you, if you have a big smile on your face, make it bigger and keep it, right? If you don't have a smile on your face, I'm gonna try my hardest to make you smile. Okay, that is my job, that is my goal, right? And if you really have nothing to smile about, make it to tomorrow. Because tomorrow, you might have something awesome to smile about. So, with that, I'm gonna end this lovely little stream. I bid y'all farewell, and I bid y'all adieu. Have a good morning, noon, or night, whatever it may be for you. If you have to sleep and it's a good night for you, I hope you have a very good dream. I hope you dream of eating your favorite food or doing your favorite activity. If it's a day, I hope you have a good day. If it's an afternoon, I hope you get to eat really, really good lunch or dinner or snack. I don't know how you live your life, but I hope you live it well, and I hope you live a long one and a good one. I bid you farewell. Hasta la vista. Until we meet again, my